Question. Hey Kim, do you have anything to help having a conversation with people? Well, in general I will say, if you want to ask anybody a question, try to be as specific as possible, because obviously this is a very general question. What exactly does the person mean? What is the problem the person is having in terms of having a conversation? It would be very helpful to have that information. But I'm still going to comment on the question in the sense that I think there are some general things we can say. And the first thing that comes to my mind is if you have trouble having conversations with other people. So let's say you're trying to have a conversation and it doesn't go the way you expect it to. The first thing I would do is decide in my outer mind. I can't change the other person, but I can change myself. I can change my psychology, my reactions. Because conversations with other people is actually one of the best ways to expose your particular reactionary patterns, what I in many videos call these subconscious selves that we have. Where, as I said, you have a situation in the past. It could be in a past lifetime, it could be in this lifetime, where you have a particular conflict with another person. And based on this, you are creating this subconscious self. And once the self is created, anytime you have a conversation, this self might lay not really dormant, but it's watching the situation. And let's say that you ended up in a conflict with a person when you created the self. And now you are meeting another person and you're having a conversation, and the self is always watching out for any signal that the person is going to do what the previous person did. In other words, let's say you have a conversation and somebody puts you down. They disagrees with you and tells you you're stupid or you're wrong for having this viewpoint. So you get hurt, you create the subconscious self. So now every time you have a conversation, the self is watching. Is the person going to put me down? And if there's the slightest hint that the person is going to put you down, the self now takes over your reaction to the conversation. And for example, you might start a pattern I could see in myself is you might feel attacked. You might go into not only defending yourself, but also you are attacking the other person because if they're saying you're not perfect, if you can show that they're not perfect, maybe it won't be so bad, right? I can see in myself that I had this self that's thought, okay, here's a person who is attacking me of having done something wrong or telling me I've done something wrong. I feel hurt by this, but if I can prove that the other person also did something wrong, then all of a sudden we'll agree and we'll be friends. And I can look back at my life and see, I don't think that ever worked for me. I don't think that by attacking somebody and showing them that they were also at fault or they were also not perfect, I don't think that ever led to us being friends and saying, oh yeah, you know, we are just people. I don't think it ever worked, right? So what I'm saying is, you have trouble having a conversation with people. Look at it as an opportunity to see some of these reactionary patterns in yourself. Why am I reacting this way? And then you use the tools I've given in some of my breakthrough videos and many other talks. You look at what is my reaction? Why am I reacting this way? Very common, we feel attacked. You know, it's partly because there's a self that's defensive, that's always looking out for an attack and therefore trying to anticipate it. And many times you'll see that you have a self that it actually feels attacked even if the other person didn't have the intention to attack you. And that's what derails a lot of conversations, is that the other person is saying something, but your attack self, attack defense self, is so hypersensitive that it interprets it in a much more radical way than the person meant it. So all of a sudden you are defending yourself. And the person doesn't understand why you are being so aggressive, because I didn't mean it that way. And now the person may have their own subconscious self that kicks in because it feels you're attacking them, and the conversation is derailed. So what I'm saying is the best tool I have for having a conversation with people, which I assume means having a constructive conversation with people, is look at your own reactionary patterns and try to overcome them. Many people have so many defense mechanisms. If you look a little deeper, many of us have this subconscious self that wants to be approved, wants approval from others. So you could say, if you look at yourself and the conversations you've had in your lifetime, you can see having a conversation with another human being is for many of us a high-risk situation, because you have these selves that are expecting that something bad could happen. The other person could disagree with us. The other person might not approve of us. The other person might attack us or accuse us. Or the other person might accuse us of being stupid or this and that. And if you can see this in yourself and overcome it, then if you don't have a reaction, it'll be so much easier to have a conversation with people, even a constructive conversation. Now, obviously you will meet some people. They have their own subconscious selves to the point where they can't really have a conversation with people, because unless you completely agree with them, they will feel attacked. Nothing you can do about that, but then you can at least steer clear of these people. But I will say one more thing about having conversations with people is, I'll say two things. The first thing I'll say is try to listen more than you talk. If you want to have conversations with people, listen more than you talk, because most people love to talk about themselves. And you might love to talk about yourself, but that's a subconscious self. For them, it's also a subconscious self. But I'm just saying, if you want to have conversations with people where you can actually talk to people and they want to talk to you, listen. And they will want to talk to you. But the other thing I would say is try to look at, in general, when you're having a conversation with another person, what is your intent? What's your purpose? What's your agenda? What's your sense of what should be the outcome? Or even more, what should I get out of it? And it could be approval, as I said, but it could also be that you think you should change the other person. So what I've come to over the years is that I hope, at least, that I've given up this desire to change other people. I remember, as I've said, I started doing this, my spiritual work in 2002, and I've had conferences, and I've counseled many people, and many people came and asked me questions. And in the beginning, I had such a strong desire to help them that I can see now that I was subconsciously, I was trying to force them to be helped by me so I could feel I had helped them. And it was very helpful for me, and probably for others as well, when I gave that up. So when I meet somebody, I don't have the intent that I'm a spiritual teacher, I should be able to help that person. I should be able to answer all their questions. I should be able to tell them something that should resolve their psychology in 5 seconds, I don't have that. I try to listen, and then I just sort of intuitively tune in and I see whatever comes to me. But basically, I'm just trying to help them clarify the way they look at themselves, their psychology, and their situation. I'm not trying to tell them what to do. I don't even have an opinion of what they should do. I'm just trying to look for, is there something they don't see? Is there something I could help them see? Could there be a different perspective on the situation? So I'm not having this intent of wanting to change other people. And I can see that two things of it. First of all, when I'm at peace, I don't have an agenda. I don't have this sense that something should happen or shouldn't happen. I'm having a more pleasant conversation with people. But I also can see that when I'm more relaxed, other people are more relaxed. And that means that in many cases, even if they have these defense mechanisms, they're not activated because they don't feel threatened by me, because they don't sense that I have an agenda. And that means people feel more comfortable, they can open up more. And sometimes I can say things to them that they may have a subconscious self that would react to this, but because I'm relaxed about it, they don't react, and they actually think about it in a way they wouldn't have otherwise. So I'm just saying, again, you know, having a conversation with another human being is a fantastic opportunity, probably the best opportunity there is, to see your own reactionary patterns, and then you can work on them and overcome them. I know that's probably not the answer that the person was looking for, because many people look for a quick fix. You know, you're supposed to come up with this koan-like statement that suddenly resolves it for them. But as always, the only answer I really have to people's questions is resolve psychology, not some magic trick.